have a seat, just for a few moments. I'm going to take Paul's words to Timothy to heart. I'm not going to wrangle over a lot of words, so this will be a shorter than usual sermon, not because it's a holiday weekend, but just because I want you to know I do actually read the other readings. And this is about gratitude, but it's about more than gratitude. When I was a very young priest, I was assigned to do a particular work in the bishop's office, and it's one of those things where you make the comment in the room, why anyone can do that, so they asked anyone to do it. And I ended up working with about 206 different individuals in the course of that year. I kept a count because I went back to the record. And you can only do this when you're a young clergy and you think the world owes you, okay? You grow out of that soon. And I counted, and of the 206 people I work with, 5 eventually ever got back to me to say thank you, okay? So when I was a very young priest and I used to preach on this particular passage, I used to make the snarky comment, well, Jesus had 1 out of 10 come back, that's 100 average. All right, I had 5 out of 206, that's 0.028. And the only thing more inept and feeble than that are the Houston Bats in this series. For those of you who are not baseball fans, forget it. So we encountered 10 people who are marginalized and they are lost. 10 individuals suffering from a very serious skin disease. What you all know this from Bible study, you've read this one. What we today call leprosy is not necessarily what they may have been suffering. In the ancient world, any kind of serious, contagious skin disease was referred to as leprosy. All right? It doesn't make any difference what it's called. It's dangerous, it's serious, eventually it's going to kill you. If you don't think it's really disgusting and ugly, remember the scene in Ben-Hur with the mother and sister, okay? Quite serious. But this is more about thanks, and this is about people who don't get everything God wants to offer. So here's the story. You know it from the time you were kids. You've heard it in Sunday school. I can guarantee you what's going on upstairs right now, that kid's going to come down, they're going to have pictures of Jesus curing this group. First of all, you're going to see a picture of 10 men, or males. Because in our mind, 10 lepers mean 10 men. But that's not what the text is. It says 10 people. It could have been family. It could have been kids. We don't know. All right? So these 10 very sick people come out of the woodwork. They're asking for something which is physiologically impossible. And Jesus simply says to them, well, just walk over, and this is what you have to do because it's part of the law of Leviticus. Go and present yourself to the clergy, to the priesthood in Jerusalem, and they will certify that you're healed. And they go and exactly do what he says for them to do. And on the way, 9 of them figure out, oh my God, I'm healed. And they then continue to do exactly what Jesus told them to do. They go on to Jerusalem. And one of them turns around and comes back to say thank you. Praising God and saying thanks. And we don't really get the power of Jesus' question because English can't capture the words of the original text. And I'm not showing off, but I'm telling you, I went back because I remember a professor really hammering this into me. The words out of Jesus' mouth, as Luke gives us the story, he said it this way. The other 9, where? That carries a different kind of message, doesn't it? He uses this as an opportunity to talk about God's kingdom, those who do respond to it, and those who sadly let it go by their lives. So I'm going to ask you, or think about 3 things, really simple. First of all, these 10 people were bold enough to actually ask for help, even though every fiber of their being said, it's stupid. You don't get cured of this, you die from it. They ask for help, and Jesus not only accepts their request, he expects it. And may I ask you to think about this. God knows our hearts, knows what we need before we ask. But whenever we ask for what's a need, it's like we take ownership of that need. And we recognize that we have that need. All right? I have the opportunity, and it's a blessing, every Saturday morning, the parking lot here, and Heather can confirm this from yesterday, the parking lot here is filled because we have an OA meeting, 12-step program over at Lawrence Hall. We've had it for years and years. And I have had members in my family who have attended AA. I have been blessed never to be afflicted with that kind of addictive personality, but I do know from speaking with people, I've learned to take to heart when they say to me, I have never been able to deal with this until I first acknowledged I had a need to deal with it, that there was a problem. Now, that's a lot of words, and we all know that, but take it to heart. God needs us to own what we need and ask for help. And secondly, for the most part, the group that goes ahead and does exactly what Jesus asked them to do is what we probably should be doing most of our lives. Wherever you hear the Lord guiding you, go with it. Do it. It's the good thing to do. All right? It is something of God's blessing when we follow God's lead. So it takes time to listen and to shut up and to let the word sink in. Maybe pray about where is the Lord leading you. But the final thought is about that one outsider who comes back. The one who got so much more than he asked for. He wanted physical healing, and he ends up with redemption. He comes back with something so much more powerful. And here's my final thing for you to think about. In your prayers, in your journey of faith, wherever you are, don't sell yourself short. Ask for more than you think you can get. And you might be surprised what the Lord gives you. Be open to any and every blessing. God's love doesn't depend on our gratitude. But you know what? We can shut ourselves off from so much more by being ungrateful. Be aware of what God offers. And let God's abundance take you in places you can't even imagine you need. Amen.
Amen.